Hey guys, Brian with Carnivore Conviction, and I wanted to show you my Safeway haul from today. This is all the meat I got. Got some good sales. Wanted to show you how I unpack it, put it in these vacuum sealer bags, vacuum seal it, and throw it in the freezer. But today I'm also going to make one of these bone-in ribeyes for lunch. So I'll show you how I prep that before I throw it in the bag. I season it with salt, throw it in the bag sealer, and then throw it directly in the sous vide machine. So I'll show you the haul, and then we'll get started on everything. All right, guys, here's the haul that I got from Safeway today. You can see I got a few boneless ribeyes, some bone-in ribeyes up there, and then I got this sweet um, burger beef patties that have brisket, chuck, and short rib. I thought those looked really good. Also wanted to show you the vacuum sealer that I have. This is a Vide chamber vacuum sealer. And then I use these vacuum sealer bags along with my sous vide machine made by Nova. Okay, so for time's sake, I went ahead and opened up all the packaging on the stuff I'm going to pack today. And so the first process I do, open up the packaging, and I'll just start putting all of these ribeyes or steaks or whatever meat that I'm wanting to package up into a bag. So I'll throw it in there. And I generally put it all the way to one side, so when I throw it into the sous vide machine, it's a lot easier to do that. So we'll just start packing each one of these. I try to be careful not to. I only touch the meat with the right hand instead of getting my left hand gross. And then I will pay attention to whether or not they're bone-in or boneless as I'm packaging these, and I'll write on the packaging after I put it in the vacuum sealer what they are and the date that I packaged them, so when I go to grab them out of the freezer, I know what I'm looking for. Now, as far as those other steaks go, they're already, for the most part, vacuum sealed, it looks like, so I'm probably just going to leave them the way they are. And now, you know what? I'm probably going to repackage those so I know that they're good to go in the sous vide. One of the things that I wanted to point out is these bags that I get. I make sure to get the BPA free bags. From everything I've read, that's what these are okay to sous vide in. You don't want to just use regular plastic, or you can be concerned about that getting into your food. All right, so that was all the boneless ones. These are the bone-in. And then I am going to save one of these out and make one for lunch today. These bags I've been getting on Amazon. When I buy them, I think there's 100 per pack, and I think they're about 3 cents a bag. It's not terrible. The vacuum sealer was a little bit bigger of an expense, but I actually got it a while ago, several years ago, because I wanted to start prepping. I wanted to start, packaging rice and beans and all the things in case of an emergency. I really noticed that when the pandemic hit 2020 and the grocery stores just didn't have any food. So man, it might be a good idea to start prepping some stuff. So I found the chamber vac is definitely the best way to do it, because the other thing I love about it is, say you make a soup or something for your family and you have a lot of leftovers, you can actually save that liquid. You can vacuum seal that liquid, so soups or anything like that, which makes it super handy. So yeah, I love my chamber vacuum sealer. I'm hoping to get out and hunt a deer this year and vacuum seal all that meat as well. So it really it comes in handy a lot. So this is the one we're gonna make today and get ready for. I'll open those and package those off camera. The burgers I'm actually just gonna put in the fridge. I plan to make those probably tomorrow, so I'm just gonna put those in the fridge and prep them and make them tomorrow. So let me wash my hands real quick, and then we will get started on prepping this for today's lunch. Okay, so the prep for this is quite easy. And by the way, I love to use the Redmond's real salt. Really like the taste of this stuff. I got the coarse one with the grinder. Really enjoy it. So I'll be using that. You want to coat it with a really good layer of salt. I found that you really can't over salt the meat, especially in the beginning. Unfortunately, with the shaker, when I flip this, I'm gonna have to wash my hands again. So I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so we'll coat the other side really good. And one thing that is interesting is, as you can see, I already well, I haven't vacuumed them yet, but I'm gonna be vacuum sealing those all without seasoning on them, without any salt. And that's what I've done for a while. I end up just taking it out of the freezer, and if I remember, I'll put it in the refrigerator overnight before I cook it. But there's been a few times where I just take it straight out of the freezer, put it directly in the sous vide, and it's fine too. But yeah, I don't usually salt them before I seal them, so when they go in the sous vide, they usually don't have any seasonings on them. And then when I take them out of the sous vide, I'll go out and I'll use the flamethrower to give it a good sear, and then I'll usually salt after, and that tastes just as fine to me. So there's that. So after that's salted, we are going to throw this in the bag, and I'm going to put this toward the edge, and then we'll put this directly on the rack. Let me wash my hands real quick, and then I'll show you how this thing works. All right, so we're back. I'm going to show you how this works. Put that in there. Put this bar over here to make sure it has nice contact. Even that out. We close the lid, and I don't know how loud this is going to be, but the idea is it vacuums out this entire chamber, and then it seals the bag while it's under vacuum. And then when it releases the pressure, the inside the sealed bag is already vacuumed, so it sucks in really tight fast. So here we go. Okay, so my stupid phone died as I was in the middle of recording, right as I was about to hit the button. So I'm going to continue where I left off, but I did go ahead while my phone was charging. I went ahead and vacuum sealed all the rest of the steak. So I'll show you all that in a minute. But let's go ahead and start this and see how loud it is on the camera, and I'll walk you through it as we go. Here we go. So it starts like a 30-second timer, and it's taking all the vacuum out, vacuuming this whole chamber. And then it's going to seal the bag under vacuum. 3 more seconds of vacuuming. Okay, it's sealing the bag. Now it's cooling the bag. And now it's about to go. There we go. We have a perfectly sealed bone-in ribeye steak ready for the sous vide. All right, guys, here's my sous vide machine. I have the temp set at 137 degrees, as you can see. And what I usually do is I just kind of fold this over itself like this, and we just stick it down there in the water. And it is going to sit there and cook for about 2 hours. So I'll take it out in 2 hours and show you the rest of the process. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to show you guys is all of the vacuum sealed steaks, and there's the burger. So I counted it up. I've got 15 steaks and 4 burgers. Now I'll probably eat those 2 burgers at a time. So that's 17 meals for $84. So you're looking about $5 a meal. And these are all ribeyes. It's pretty awesome if you can find the good sales. The ribeye steak has been in the sous vide for about 2 hours now, so we're going to go ahead and take it out here in a second. I did want to mention, I mentioned sparkling water. I have been buying this S. Pellegrino sparkling water, and I seem to enjoy it. They had a good sale at Sam's this weekend on those. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out. And I'm going to warn you, it's going to look very unappealing right now. They look very disgusting when they first comes right out of the sous vide machine, but that's okay. Trust me, it's normal. So I just take it out, put it on the cutting board, and throw this trash away. And then what we're gonna do is, the key to a good sear on a steak is to make sure that it's completely dried off. So I take a regular paper towel and just dry it really well. That way, when we hit it with the flamethrower, it'll have a good sear. Flip this over and then dry the other side really, really well. And what I've been doing, took me a while to figure out the best way. I started with putting it in my grill, but I have tinfoil underneath to keep the grill clean, and the tinfoil kept catching on fire with my flamethrower. So I've started using my cast iron pan, and I put it out on my porch on the ground, on my concrete porch. So I'll show you this, and then we'll move outside and I'll show you the flamethrower technique. So as you can see right now, it is not very appealing. All right, guys, so we're out on the porch. This is the flamethrower that I like to use. This thing's super fun. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here so you can see what's going on. Okay, that's one side. Flip it over. Oh, that side has a little bit of grease on there, so hopefully it still sears up pretty well. All right, I'm back. Take 2. Of course, I had to run out of propane right in the middle of videoing. All right, so I do have a lot of rendered fat down into that pan. I've been leaving it in there every time, but it's got some pretty good flames coming up on it, so I think it's probably time that I clean that out. Okay, so as you guys can see, that probably wasn't the best sear ever because there was too much fat in the pan, but still looks pretty tasty. Let's go ahead and give it a cut. You can see. So normally I do it at 137 degrees and it comes out a perfect medium. And I'm not sure why these last couple ribeyes I've made have looked to be a little bit more done than that, but the nice part about the sous vide is it cooks it perfectly every single time. So this is a bone in. Gotta find that bone here. And you can see this is just looking wonderful. Perfectly cooked edge to edge every single time without fail. That's the beauty of the sous vide method, is you really can't screw it up. The key is finding what temperature you like, and I'm still experimenting with that. It seems like different meats I like slightly different temperatures, and but so far I've been pretty much 137 has been about perfect the way I like it, which is closer to a medium. Um, but yeah, hopefully that comes through in the video. Perfectly yummy steak, and then I go ahead and hit it with a little salt again for taste. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.